This is a special report from your Seattle City Light. The Skagit River in the North Cascades Range has been used for decades by City Light to generate hydroelectric power for the citizens and businesses of Seattle. As repayment for the use of this valuable renewable resource, City Light has agreed to fund several projects in partnership with the National Park Service to provide research, education, and recreation for the public. The Gorge Overlook Trail, located near the Gorge Dam, 3 miles north of New Halem on State Road 20, is one of the newest of these facilities. Recently, City Light Superintendent Gary Zarker joined North Cascade Park Superintendent Bill Pawlik and inspected the Overlook Trail. The facility was funded by City Light and built by the National Park Service to allow a safe and close-up look at the spectacular location of the dam built in the 1920s. The Gorge Overlook Trail includes parking, restroom facilities, and an all-weather trail complete with safety rails and interpretive signs that allows even wheelchairs to perch along the Skagit River's steep cliffs and take in the magnificent views.
The Americans with Disability Act sets different standards for accessibility. In the case of this trail, the first quarter mile or so meets the highest standards of accessibility. So it's as available as any facility can be. The second part of the trail, the 1/3 mile that's unpaved, meets the moderate difficulty level. It's intended to provide the public with safe and accessible views of the Gorge Lake portion of the project, something they hadn't been able to see before, in a way that both interprets the climatological factors that make the siting of a hydroelectric project like this possible, and the manner in which the hydroelectric power benefits the people of Seattle.
The Nature Conservancy of Washington acknowledged Seattle City Light's efforts in the Skagit Basin, its habitat, its fish and wildlife protection efforts by awarding us their Public Agency of the Year award. And it was quite an honor for Seattle City Light because we work very hard to preserve areas like this, and it tells us that what we're doing is what we should be doing. It really confirms that what we're doing is the right thing.
May 30th, the National Park Service held an open house at its new North Cascade Wildlife Research Station, built and funded by Seattle City Light. The combination laboratory and residential facility is converted from a City Light building formerly used as a bunkhouse in New Halem near the Gorge Hydroelectric Dam. Scientists from all over the country will join with resident researchers to study the wildlife living in the Cascade Mountains to better understand what impacts human activity is having on the river and its ecology.
So what you see before you today are some of the aquatic insects that are in these streams, and they allow us to not just take a single snapshot with looking at the water quality, but they allow us to look at what the biological environment is over, say, the last 5 or 10 years.
Depending on the species of the caddisfly, they can show us a lot of different things. Some, like the species we have here in the microscope, feed on particulate matter that floats through the stream, and so you tend to find more of this type of caddisfly in a stream that has a lot of particulate matter, a lot of sediment flowing through the stream. Other caddisflies are very sensitive to the same sedimentation that this one thrives in, and so when you find them in a stream, you know that you have very little sedimentation in a stream. And that's important for a lot of different reasons, and one of the reasons is sedimentation can silt in salmon redds where the salmon lay their eggs, and then that suffocates the eggs. And so by getting a handle on what kind of sedimentation problems we have in a stream, we can tell, you know, its fitness for salmon reproduction.
The salmon runs below the City Light dams on the Skagit are the healthiest in the continental U.S. Since the dams have altered the natural flows of the river, City Light has worked with biologists and naturalists to ensure that operation of the dams is not detrimental to salmon life cycles. But there are many other factors affecting the health of the river, including climate variations. The work centered at the Wildlife Research Facility will be to better understand the ecology of the mountain range and the watershed.
The information that we gain from this will be available to schools and to the Environmental Learning Center that's also going to be part of the facilities here. And it will allow us to determine what the condition is of our resource. There's great concerns about the condition of the greater Puget Sound right now. Well, what's happening in our mountain ranges, we know very little.
So this will help.
This will help in that regard.
One of the first projects for the research facility is whether grizzly bears are migrating into the North Cascade.
There are no confirmed grizzly bears in the area, but we strongly believe that there are grizzly bears within the park complex. And that's one of the studies that will be ongoing, is where they're setting up hair snags, and the bears rub against trees, and they're collecting hair samples from the hair that the bear loses, and then they do genetic analysis on that. And then from that, we'll hopefully be able to confirm that we do have grizzly bears in the park.
To visit the new trail and other recreation spots near the Skagit Hydro Project, take I-5 to north of Burlington, exit number 230, and then head east on State Road 20 for about 70 miles to the town of New Halem. This has been a special report from your Seattle City Light. This is a special report from your Seattle City Light.
Good morning. My name is Ann Ducey, and I'm from Seattle City Light.
And my name is Yen Chen. I'm also from Seattle City Light. We're here at my house today to talk about the conservation kit that we're offering residential customers in Seattle. You may have gotten one of these in the mail. It's our solicitation letter. Inside it is a letter from the mayor, and there's a coupon at the bottom that you can tear off and send back to us. And if you do that, we'll send you this conservation kit.
And inside the kit, you'll have a letter and some instructions and 2 compact fluorescent lights. One is a 15 watt, one is a 23 watt, plus a bathroom faucet aerator and a flow rate bag.
If you threw this out in the trash, you better go dig it out right now.
Well, wait a minute, Yen. This is Seattle. You've got to dig it out from the recycling bin.
Ann, shall we go inside and see if we can find some good places to install these?
Oh, I'd love to.
All right. Well, what about this lamp, Ann?
Oh, okay. Now, what do you use this light for? Is this on a lot?
No, it's on off and on during the night.
Oh, okay. Well, let's check. Oh, it's on a dimmer switch.
Yes.
Actually, that would not be a good application for a compact fluorescent light. They don't work well at all on dimmer switches.
What happens if you put one in here?
Well, actually, it could last less than a week, and they flicker, and basically the stepping up of the voltage really scrambles up the electronics in a compact fluorescent bulb.
And long life is one of the features of these bulbs, so we want to get the most out of that, right?
That's right. And it also looks like it might not fit in here either. So let's just cross this one off the list. What else do we have in the living room?
How about this lamp here?
Now this looks like it might have some promise here. Let's take a look. Now tell me about this light fixture.
Now, this is a lamp that we use a lot. We turn it on at night when it gets dark and turn it off when we go to bed at night.
Oh, it sounds like a perfect application for a compact fluorescent light. They save the most when they're on at least 2 hours a day. So
Great.
let's see how this works. Oh, it's a 3-way.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Compact fluorescent lights work fine in 3-way fixtures. They actually won't step up to the different light levels, but they will work on at least 1 click or maybe all 3.
Okay, so 3-way sockets are good, but dimmers don't.
Exactly.
Okay, very good.
So let's take a look, take the finial off in the shade and see what we have here.
Okay, let me turn
Let's
that
turn
off.
it off before we change it out.
Well, this is a 75 watt in here. Sometimes we put 100 in. It depends on what we have.
Oh,
in
okay.
stock.
Well, then the replacement option that would be best for this lamp would be a 23 watt compact fluorescent light. They
And we
give
have
about
one in the
the,
kit.
yeah, that's one in the kit. They give about the same light as 100 and a little bit more than a 75, so it should work just fine. Oh, and it fits perfectly. Look at that.
Great. I
That's
noticed
wonderful.
that the base on these is wider than on a standard bulb.
Yeah, and so that can be problematic. They may not fit in all fixtures because of that wide base. But looks like it fits this one just fine.
Right. And if I wanted, I could go to the hardware store and get a new harp, maybe that would make it work better.
Right, if it was a smaller harp, yeah, you could get a bigger harp, absolutely.
Okay.
So let's put this back on and see how it works. Now, compact fluorescent lights come on instantly. This one worked on the second click. They come on instantly, but they take about 30 seconds to come up to full brightness.
Okay, that doesn't look as bright as it was as the old 75, but you say it will get brighter. Oh, I see, it's getting brighter, and looks like it's getting whiter also.
They have very similar light qualities to the incandescent light, and they also have excellent color rendering. So people usually cannot tell the difference behind a shade, whether it's a compact fluorescent or an incandescent. So what do you think?
Looks good.
Great. All right, what else do you have in the living room?
Well, we have to find some place for that 15, don't we?
That's right.
How about up in the ceiling there?
Ah, that looks like a recessed fixture. I would not recommend compact fluorescent lights in a recessed fixture. One of the reasons compact fluorescent lights don't work well in recessed fixtures is that the light comes out evenly from all around the tubes, whereas in an incandescent light bulb, there's a small filament inside in which all the light comes out. So it basically pushes the light out better, whereas this does not do it as well. So you'll see the same amount of light coming out, but a lot of it will get lost in the fixture.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can find a place for that 15. How about the bathroom?
Great. So what do we have in the bathroom?
We have a couple of wall sconces that are flanking the mirror.
I don't think they'll fit. They look pretty tight.
Ah, because of the shades here.
Yeah, they're really tight along the bottom, and the ballast I think would be too fat.
And we have our faucet aerator here too.
Oh,
So,
okay, great.
Let's change that out.
At least we can do that.
Sometimes these aerators are a little bit tight, so I've got my pliers here. Give it a first little nudge, and then it screws off pretty easily.
Right, and the bathroom faucet aerators that come in the conservation kit are 1 gallon a minute.
Okay, and this one is 1.5 gallons a minute, so I'll be saving about a third of the water.
Right, it comes from the sink, correct. Well, that was easy enough. Okay, where to next?
Let's go into the kitchen.
Great. Oh, this is a nice light. So tell me about this one.
This is the principal task light in our kitchen. I do all of my food preparation on this counter here. And we think we can put the 15 in this one?
Well, it looks like you've already got a compact fluorescent circle line in there. Excellent.
I do. I tricked you. I love these circle lines because they give such a nice light down onto the work surface.
They sure do, and actually they work well in any lamp with a big shade like this, whether it's on a table or whether it's coming down from the ceiling. So where do you think we can put this 15 watt?
Well, I've got another task light.
Okay, let's go check that out. Now, do you use this one very often?
Oh yeah, I do most of my paperwork at this table, so it's on several hours a night.
Oh, great. Well, so this would be a perfect application for a compact fluorescent. Oh, yeah, it's already compact fluorescent.
I fooled you.
I couldn't tell.
Again, I
That's
brought
great.
you over here because I wanted to show you the difference, show folks the difference between the old technology and the new technology in compact fluorescence.
I
That's an
remember
old one.
those well.
Oh yes, I do too. So let's take this one out. Now you'd never do this with an incandescent bulb because you'd burn your hands.
Absolutely not. Now, how long has this been on?
It's been on for about an hour.
Well, and it's just only warm to the touch.
Right.
That's great.
That's how they get their efficiency. They make light instead of heat. Now I'm going to
Absolutely.
screw this one in.
This one looks like a 15 watt.
It is.
So you would normally have a 60 watt in this test lamp.
Right.
Wow, look at that sticking out at the bottom.
Yes, in the old days. And we turn it on.
Nope, took that little extra second there.
Took me a while to learn that.
That's great. Yeah, they've really come a long way in just the last few years. Look
They
at the
have.
difference.
Look at the difference in the length there.
And in just the last few months, there's even a newer model that we've seen in the stores. And you can hold this one up to it, and you can see how much smaller still. And they've got a incandescent right next to it, and they're showing you exactly that they're exactly the same size. So it's just amazing what the technology is in the compact fluorescent bulbs today. Well, all right. Where next?
Let's try the porch.
Oh,
How about
that's
a porch light, something outside.
That's a perfect application for compact fluorescent lights.
So here's the porch light I was talking about, Ann.
Ah, okay. Now, how often do you change this bulb?
Well, you know, I can't remember the last time I changed it. It's been at least 2 or 3 years.
Oh, really? So it's not on very often?
Well, no, but it's a porch light.
Well, normally this is a really excellent application for a compact fluorescent light, but seeing as that you hardly ever turn it on, maybe we should find another place for the compact fluorescent.
You know, I've got another porch light that's on all night.
Oh, now that would be perfect. Why don't we go look at that one?
Okay, let's check it out.
Great.
So here's the porch light I think I'd like to put it into, Ann.
Oh, this looks like it might work in. Why don't we give it a try?
All right. Wanna hold it?
You bet. How long do you usually have this light on? in the
Oh, all
evening?
night.
All night?
Yeah, it's a 60 watt, so that's perfect for the 15.
Excellent. So if you keep this on all night, it'll last you, usually it'll last you around 2 years.
Fits well.
As you can see, there's several different styles, models, and wattages of compact fluorescent lights that are available at drug, hardware, and home improvement stores near you. If you have any more questions about these lights or energy conservation in general, you can call Seattle City Lights Conservation Helpline at 206-684-3800. That's 206-684-3800.
Or you can visit our website at www.cityofseattle.net/light/conserve.
Thanks for joining us today.
And we hope you learned something about energy conservation.
Seattle City Light is an electric utility, so why do we encourage people to conserve, to use electricity more efficiently? Because wise energy use saves money, creates jobs, and protects the environment. City Light is Seattle's citizen-owned utility. Our customers are our shareholders, and they expect City Light to do the smart thing, the right thing, and that's conservation. Seattle City Light Conservation. Value for our customers, good for the community.
目前有许多关于电力的谈论，加州撤销管制、节约能源措施、价格上涨等等，所有围绕电力问题的讨论都表示一点：您的电费将要提高。如果您是 Seattle City Light 的用户，而且您需要帮助以支付电费，请电206-684-3000获得帮助。这是西雅图市向您提供全套水电所需帮助之处。不要等待，如果您需要帮助，或者您知道他人需要帮助，请今天就打电话。
呢排成日聽到好多新聞關於電力嘅説話，加州改變法例、慳電法例、加電費啦，所有種種混淆，只有一個結論，就係你嘅電費會增加。如果閣下係西雅圖電力公司 Seattle City Light 嘅顧客，有需要交電話費方面嘅支援，請電西雅圖市面嘅全面水電支援服務206-684-3000，唔好再等。如果你需要支援，或者知道有人需要，今日就打電話嚟啦。
요즘은 전기에 대한 이야기를 많이 합니다. 캘리포니아의 인허가 규제, 에너지 전략 수단, 치솟는 전기세 등등 이같이 여러 가지 불확실한 전기 문제가 의미하는 것은 한 가지입니다. 전기세 인상입니다. 시애틀 시리라이트의 고객으로 전기세의 납부에 도움이 필요하시면 206-684-3000번으로 연락하여 도움을 청하십시오. 이곳에서 여러분은 시애틀시가 제공하는 각종 공공요금에 대한 원스톱 서비스를 받을 수 있습니다. 지체하지 마십시오. 도움이 필요하거나 도움을 필요로 하는 분이 계시면 오늘 전화하십시오.
Hiện nay có rất nhiều lời bàn tán về vấn đề điện, sự bãi bỏ quy định tại Cali, sự đo lường chừng mực, giá cả leo thang. Tất cả những tình trạng mù mờ chung quanh vấn đề điện quy lại một điều, tiền điện của bạn đang lên. Nếu quý vị là hành khách của thành phố ánh sáng Seattle và cần giúp đỡ trong việc trả hóa đơn, xin gọi 206 684 3000. Đó là nơi giúp trả hóa đơn cho quý vị của thành phố ánh sáng Seattle. Đừng chờ đợi, nếu quý vị cần hoặc biết ai cần giúp đỡ, xin gọi ngay.
最近電力の話題で持ちきりです。カリフォルニア比規制、節電条例、料金引き上げ、電力論争の変動は電気料金の値上がりにつながります。シアトルシティライトのご利用者で支払いの助けが必要な方は 206-684-3000 までお電話ください。シアトル市公益事業のヘルプはすべてここで扱っています。後回しにせず、あなたまたは知人で助けが必要な方は今すぐお電話ください。
Сейчас много говорят об электроснабжении. Энергетические проблемы в Калифорнии, меры по сбережению энергии, рост цен. Все это означает одно – ваши счета за электричество растут. Если вы являетесь клиентом Seattle City Light и вам нужна помощь в оплате счетов, позвоните по телефону 206-684-3000. Здесь вам помогут решить все вопросы, связанные с оплатой коммунальных услуг. Не откладывайте. Если вам или кому-либо из ваших знакомых нужна помощь, позвоните сегодня.
I'm Lucy Huang with Seattle City Light, and this is David Chanin with Bayview Technology Group. We're here today to talk to you about vending machines and how we can conserve energy using a special device that David's company makes. A lot of people don't even think about vending machines. They just grab that cold drink and go and don't think about the power that it's using. David, can you tell us a little bit about what uses power in a vending machine?
Sure, Lucy. There's lots of parts to it. Clearly the big lid up front is full of lights and uses almost 180 watts worth of power. We have a cooling system inside to keep the sodas all cold. There's electronics to light up all the displays and process the money you put in. And then there are lots of different fans and other miscellaneous parts. It's almost like a 400 or 500 watt light bulb that's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week inside your house, and you usually want to try and do something about turning it off when you don't need it.
That's a lot of energy. So David, can you tell us a little bit about how the vending miser works and saves energy?
The vending miser is a smart controller, and what it will do is it will turn the machine off when no one's around, but it has some sophisticated capabilities that allows it to periodically repower the machine so that the sodas stay ice cold. After we install a vending miser on the vending machine, the customers don't see any difference. The machine's always on and ready to sell anything if they are interested in purchasing. The product is always ice cold, but the machine will use 30 to 40% less energy than it will traditionally.
Great, sounds good. How does it know if anybody's around?
Well, it has an occupancy sensor, Lucy. It has some sophisticated electronics that will use an occupancy sensor to figure out whether anyone can see the machine. If no one can see the machine, then it'll turn the whole machine off. As soon as someone comes within sight of the machine, it turns it back on.
So if I'm the first person that comes in on Monday morning after the weekend to get a pop out of the machine, is it going to be warm?
No, actually it'll stay ice cold. What happens is when we turn the vending machine off, we turn it off only for a few hours based on the room's temperature. If it's a very cold room, it'll stay off for as much as 2 or 3 hours. If it's a very hot room, it'll stay off only for an hour or two. What happens when we turn the vending machine off, of course, is everything inside the vending machine stops running. There are fans inside the vending machine. You can think of the vending machine as a giant insulated box with a couple hundred gallons of cold liquid in it, and the fans are circulating the air around the cold drinks. When we turn the whole vending machine off, all the fans stop running. So what happens is the air inside the cold box stops circulating, and it does what's called stratification, which means that the cold air starts to sink and the warm air starts to rise, which means all the sodas at the bottom start to get even colder than normal. Well, a vending machine sells sodas from the bottom, so those sodas at the bottom stay ice cold.
So how big is this vending miser, and what are the components that make it work?
Let me show it to you, Lucy. Vending miser basically has 2 pieces to it. There's an occupancy sensor, and the occupancy sensor is what allows the vending miser to determine if anybody can see the machine.
Through the lens here?
Yeah, it has some electronics behind the lens, and the lens will let it see out about 50 feet and be able to detect anyone who's in vicinity of the machine. The second part is what we call the controller. The controller is where the vending machine plugs into, and then this plugs back into the wall. And this allows us to turn the vending machine on and off as needed. And then there's a lot of electronics in here that analyzes all the information from the occupancy sensor and from a whole host of other sensors inside that allow it to control the machine both without any damage to the machine and without allowing... Here we'll do the installation. The first thing, of course, is we unplug the vending machine. Now we'll take the mounting bracket, put it a couple feet up, mount it to the wall. And once the bracket is mounted, then we'll take the vending miser itself and drop it into the bracket, like that. And take the vending machine and plug it into the vending miser. Now we have to mount the occupancy sensor. So we'll come up here. First we pull the little plastic key out of the top of the sensor. Open the back up. And we'll mount the sensor about 2 feet above the machine. This is actually a little bit low, but this will now we'll put up the sensor. Okay, and now we'll put the sensor back together. Board back up and hook the face on. And put the plastic button back in the top. A little close to the top. Now we'll put up the wire mold to cover the sensor wire. There we go. Now we'll put the cover on it. Now we'll take the sensor cord and plug it into the vending miser. There's a, looks like a phone plug. Plugs right into the side of the vending miser. And now we'll just take the excess cord, coil it up neatly. And last but not least, we'll now plug the vending miser into the wall, and the vending machine will come on.
Well, that seemed easy. Is that all there is to it?
Just about. There's one more thing we have to do. We have this very nice sticker that goes up on the machine to let you know that the machine has an energy saver on it.
Great. So now anytime you get a cold drink from a vending machine with this sticker, you know that you're getting your same refreshment but helping the
From your Seattle City Light. There are a lot of words and phrases being thrown around about electricity right now. California deregulation, conservation measures, rate hikes, low water year. All the uncertainty around electricity issues leaves one thing for certain: your electric bill is going up. If you are a Seattle City Light customer and you need help paying that bill, there is only one number you need to know for certain: 206-684-3000. That's the City of Seattle's one stop for help with your utilities.
Well, City Light is a hydro-based utility. We own about 65% of our own generation. That is, we produce about 65% of the power that's used here in Seattle, and that's strictly from hydroelectric plants. We have 3 large hydroelectric plants on the Skagit River and 1 large one on the Pend Oreille River. And again, this provides 65, maybe in a real good water year, a little bit more than that, percent of our use here in Seattle. The drought is hitting us really hard. I mean, to say a lot of hydroelectric dependence is really understating it. We are, except for a very, very small amount that might be in our Bonneville mix, exclusively hydro-based. Yes, and the drought is hitting us hard. Normally, with our mix of resources, we would be dependent on the market. That is, we would have to go outside and buy power on the spot market for maybe 8% of our needs. This year, the drought has doubled that. It's about 16, 17, maybe 18% by the time we get to the end of the year that we're buying on the open power market. And as you know, prices on the open power market have skyrocketed in the past year and a half. Average price that we're paying now is around $350 a megawatt hour. It's projected to go higher this summer. This compares to about a year and a half ago when prices on the open power market were between $25 and $35 a megawatt hour.
Up here, high above the North Cascade Mountains, is probably the best place to talk about why your Seattle City Light energy bills are going up in price. In July, rates crept up another 9%, a total increase of 37% for the year. And while no one likes paying for these increases, this aerial tour might help you better understand what's going on. Much of it has to do with this snowpack, which is like money in the bank when it comes to generating hydropower. Glaciers like these slowly melt off, providing water that cascades down the Skagit River. Eventually, the Skagit flows into a series of reservoirs, like Ross Lake here, and 3 different dams that generate power for Seattle City Light. That power is then fed on lines snaking their way to Seattle to serve residential customers and businesses. Now, about 6 times a year, the city measures the level of the snowpack up here to see just how much water or stored energy is still being kept up in these mountains. They make 16 different stops at a variety of alpine sites, and we'll join them now for a few of them. Jess Hagerman is the pilot. He's been contracting to do these measurements for the city for years. What's telling as you cruise above these mountains is just how much rock is actually exposed right now. You can clearly tell it's been a fairly dry winter. This snow course will be one of the first stops today.
The idea is we go out to these particular sites that have been measured many, many times, and we try to place or take the measurement in exactly the same spot every time, every month, every year.
First, Hagerman and his partner assemble the measuring rod and then must figure out where they last took their snow measurement. It can sometimes take a while because snow can change the landscape significantly.
Basically, we have a hollow tube about 2 inches in diameter, which we stick into the ground or through the snow, try to get the snow depth, and we want to make sure that we get all the way down to the ground. So we take the measurement of the snow, pull the tube out of the snow, and then make sure to check that we do have dirt on the end of the tube. And if we don't have dirt on the end of the tube, then we redo that sample.
They then figure out how much snow has compacted in the tube.
And then we weigh that tube to find out how much water we actually have in that snow sample. And then, of course, subtract the weight of the tube, and then you come up with water content, or how much real water value you do have in the snow.
At some sites, this team will take measurements at a number of different places, planting, checking the compaction, and weighing again and again. Then it's off to the next site, covering ground that isn't very snow-covered. Actually, as they approach their next site, they find most of the land is pretty much dry, almost no sign of snow at all. But it's up to Hagerman and his partner to make sure the whole site is like this. So they set off into the bush. But there's still no snow to be found.
You can see our old holes.
And there they are. In past years, the snow here was in the neighborhood of 23 feet.